Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, guys, and we getting ready to do this thing, but we ain't got nothing but about an hour for you guys today, man, here inside the Hall of Fame, ESPN 975. But, man, we gonna get it done like we always do. Bradley, how you doing, man?
Yo, I'm doing good, Book. I'm doing good. I think that, I don't know, sometimes, how that Monday show, like the energy from our Monday show, which I thought was a great show, has carried me now throughout the entire week. You know what I mean? Like I felt good about the show, and then now I feel great about this show, and it's had a good energy.
Yeah, man, we left off. I was talking about we was going to talk about the ratings war right now as far as WWE versus AEW, but I think that's really an afterthought more than anything because this ratings thing it can be tricky because one week the ratings are up, one week the ratings are down, 1 week the ratings are boom over the top. So I just think we got to sit back, especially as far as AEW go. We got to sit back and wait. If they're not here in 5 years, we'll know it.
Yeah, we figure that out. They weren't here. I mean, the thing with ratings is we become ratings obsessed, and it's really going back to the Monday Night War era because that's what it was all about. Like, what show's winning? What are their number this day? What is their number this day? But I really barely hear anybody else talk about ratings, like in life. I never hear. Did you see The View did a 2.5 share last night or yesterday evening? Joy Behar is really driving ratings up. Like you don't hear anybody else talking about that. I think the only two people in the last 5 years I've heard talk about ratings are people in the wrestling world and the former president of the United States. They're the only people I've heard talk about ratings.
You might be right on that right there, bro. But yeah, man. The news in the wrestling world pretty much been slow, but a couple of things I want to talk about. NXT 2.0.
Yes.
I want to talk about that first, just because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm really digging where NXT is going right now. It's totally a different vibe. It's a totally different show. It's something that I always thought NXT should be, as well as I think what this thing has really done more than anything is given those guys that's ready to come up out of that system, get them put in the main roster storylines immediately. As well as the only thing that's going to do for me is give these guys more people to work with. And that's what we talk about with WWE more than anything is we've seen everybody pretty much work with each other. It's pretty much a cycle now. It's like, washing your clothes. But now with all the influx of the NXT talent going straight to the main roster, I think this is going to be a game changer, man. I just do. I like it.
Well, I mean, they're already within, I don't know, it's just 4 or 5 weeks maybe into NXT 2.0. I'm not exactly sure how long it's been on, maybe 4 weeks. But they're already creating buzz around new stars. Literally 4 weeks ago, no one's talking about Braun Breaker. Like, no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
Except, hey, Rick Steiner's kids in WWE, but you never heard of him really from there. So now they're already creating stars. And I think that this show, the way that it's formatted, the way that it looks, I think it has stronger legs, as you said, to get those guys onto the next spot. And really, when they get to the main roster, be ready for it. I think that for so long, I think Triple H did a great job and has continued to do a great job, and Shawn Michaels and all the guys down there who are working with the NXT talent. But it's not a good idea to have like your little side project, and then you go present it in front of the teacher, right? And then the teacher's like, wait a minute, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. You need to have the overseeing eyes influence the whole time. So that way, when that star gets to the main roster, there's not going to be dramatic changes. You're not going to take away things that made that person great at NXT. So with Vince now as NXT product, some people were afraid, is that going to hurt? Is that going to hurt NXT? Because now Vince is involved. I think that it only makes it stronger from the standpoint of he knows the players now. So that when he takes them from NXT to the main show, there's not going to be this big change, in my opinion, in their character.
Well, for me, like I say, it's been a lot of guys in NXT that have been ready to go for quite some time. Okay. Those guys have been, I wouldn't say, fronting NXT, but they have been a main part of, the star power, certain guys. And for those guys to be on the main roster for me is the place for a lot of those guys should have been a long time ago. I was talking about guys like Tommaso Ciampa, and one say, should he move to the main roster? I say Tommaso Ciampa he's kind of like a player coach for me. He's a guy that fits perfectly in NXT. Some guys, like just say for instance, the Hit Row, these guys are stars. As well as they could be put in situations where they can make somebody else, look good at the same time. So my thing is certain guys and other guys, you got to look at them totally different. That's just my opinion on that.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. And I think that's what they're going to do with this NXT 2.0 moving forward. I still don't love the colors. I can't get past the colors. I don't like
what I think, man. I think it's different. It looks indie, but I think that's the whole allure of it. It's supposed to look indie. I mean, just say for instance, for one moment, if Reality of Wrestling had that same setup, what would you be saying then?
Well, I'd say it looks great, but no. I'm not mad at the setup itself. I just don't really love the color scheme.
No, I understand that.
You remember when Rock and Cena were feuding, and Rock said, "You look like a big fat bowl of Fruity Pebbles." Like that's what I feel like with this thing. It's just too many colors for me. I like the black and gold of NXT. I understand if you want to change it a little bit. The logo looks cool, but it looks like we're in the command center for the Power Rangers or something.
Man, like I say, to each his own. A lot of people look at it totally different. I feel like it's upbeat. For me, when I'm working out, I need certain colors to actually motivate me, to get me in the mood, to want to get in there and really, really train. Darker colors don't work well for me when I'm getting ready to try to get motivated. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
To each his own. Just like in my gym, the color is green. Like a light green. And when I get in there, man, I'm totally in that Hulk mode. I'm ready to get busy. You know what I mean? So I'm just looking at it that way. But I'm just saying, overall, for me, NXT 2.0, it's a hit right now, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. Boy, I know we have a lot to get into, of course, today. The Super Chat's already flying off the shelves. I know we have to take a break here in a couple of minutes, but I think we have time to answer one. Can we get to it?
Get to it.
Here's our first. Hit it with him, Book. I don't have my soundboard today.
Super Chat.
There we go. This is from Ken. Ken terminated by DQ. On Monday, I Super Chat Booker on when he was drafted to SmackDown in 2004. Book, were you legitimately upset, or were you just selling for a heel turn?
I wasn't upset. I was just playing my role, man. I knew going over to SmackDown for me, I loved it. I was actually really, really happy when I got drafted to SmackDown because I don't even know if I got drafted. I might have got traded. I'm serious. But I knew going to SmackDown was going to give me a chance to just be at ease. Being on live television every week on Monday Night Raw, it is very, very stressful. To have to go out there every week and nail it. It is like the hardest position to be in. I mean, seriously, it really is. And then back then SmackDown was taped, and if you made a mistake, they could fix it. So it had a much more laid back feel for me being on SmackDown, as well as I didn't have to compete with, all of the major players on Raw who wanted that TV time, who wanted that live time, who craved being in front of that camera like that. For me, it really wasn't about that. I just wanted to be able to, just like just say, for instance, when the Radicals left WCW, a door opened for me. I say, man, let me utilize this moment because, I'm going to have a little bit more TV time here. Some of the biggest stars, man, they just stepped away. Me going over to SmackDown, I knew the major players, the Triple H and those guys, they were going to be over there on Raw. So I say, I can create my own theme right here on SmackDown. There was born the SmackDown Kingdom, the SmackDown World, King Booker, Hey, we got to talk about that. King Booker, King of the Ring tournament kicking off here. And the question was posed, who is the greatest king of them all? Who is the one true king? We got to talk about that, guys, because I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet. And I'm real hot about it. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Independent wrestling is full of charismatic persona, incredible athleticism,
Shooting star, press from pressure, covered.
and at times, complete chaos.
Got attention. Don't do it, Will. Oh my gosh! Senton bomb through the table.
This is where the young guys, the young girls come today to pay their dues, to learn the craft, to start the journey to become the next wrestling superstar. I'm WWE Hall of Famer Booker T, and these are the Indies. Can you dig it, sucker? Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. I know you say we had some super chats, but let's get let's
We
roll
do.
with it.
I know because we have a hot topic in this King of the Ring thing. Because I have some questions and I have some opinions. But let's get to Cali Toenail. Hit it, book.
Super chat.
I saw a shoot video about Booker T and Batista getting into it over Molina and Morrison. The best part was that Queen Charmel got some kicks in. So did Queen help the King tax Batista's A double crooked letter? Well, I don't know if we need to rehash things of the past, but you can answer it this way. You can answer it this way. Does the Queen have your back? Does she have your back? She'll ride or die.
Let me tell you something. When you go out on a date with a woman for the first time, you know what I mean? She's checking you. You know what I mean? She's sizing you up. She's just seeing what kind of brother you are. You know, so make sure when you go to the car, open the door for her, okay? Just so she'll say, okay, we might have something here. This might work, okay? And my measuring stick is when a brother get in a fight and his woman is ride or die, she jump in with him. Boom, you better marry her.
All right, there you go. That's the advice.
Yeah.
If she jumps in, she's taking the earrings off. You better put a ring on her finger.
No, she gonna leave it. She ain't taking nothing off.
Oh no, it's
She's
just
gonna leave the heels on because they sharp.
Stilettos. You know what I'm saying? From one king to another, King Rail, longtime follower, huge Booker fan, top 5 of my all-time. Question: I saw an AEW commercial showcasing black talent. I kind of find it misleading. Thoughts? I haven't seen the commercial.
Showcasing black talent in what way? You know, I mean that they got some black stars on the show.
I'm assuming that's what he means by BLK. I would
Hobbs,
assume
Cargill. Who else? Mark Henry.
I know Leo Rush is over there now.
Leo Rush.
Private Party.
Private Party. I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's good to show you got diverse. You diverse as far as that goes. Diversity is very, very important these days to just let people say, hey, man, this thing here it's all inclusive. I don't think WWE needs to do anything like that. They got a bunch of brothers doing a whole bunch of stuff right now. And it's more brothers in WWE as well as sisters in WWE right now than has ever been at one time. You know, back in the day, seriously, no joke. It's like when my brother and I, we was in Global, and I think we were like the only blacks there. Maybe, you know, a couple of, you know, the Blackbirds, they were there too, but it wasn't a lot of blacks. Let's just say that. But when I was trying to, you know, think about going to WCW, I remember turning on the television one day and I saw Two Cold Scorpio do a move like I had never seen before. And I go, damn it, I ain't never getting a job. Because it wasn't one of us. You know what I mean? It was one of us that pretty much each. I'm serious, man. I ain't lying. But back then it wasn't, maybe one or two of us in the company. So I say big props to AEW, big props to WWE for us bringing the brothers in.
All right, we still got a couple more, so let's get through them before we get to our main topic there. This is from Mr. Philadelphia. Hey guys, would you fantasy book to be the guy to finally dethrone Roman Reigns? So who's going to be the guy, in your opinion, Booker? Who should be the guy that finally takes down the head of the table?
Well, for me, I've been talking about this for a minute now. To beat Roman Reigns, you got to really make that a moment, okay? There again, I always say with moments, you only get a chance to have it one time and it goes away pretty much as far as these kind of situations, Undertaker streak being broken, stuff like that. So for me, you look at, Brock Lesnar, you say, should he, come in and be the guy? Could he be the guy? Of course. But for me, I'm looking to make somebody. I'm looking to make somebody, in big fashion, in a huge way. And there again, man, I look at that kid Walter again, and I say he's a star. He's what wrestling is today. He's international. He could bring so many eyes to American, professional wrestling from that side of the world. It's not going to be funny. So I look at this thing almost like the UFC does, like with the Cyril Gunn and Francis Ngannou matchup coming up. It's going to be a lot of eyes on that thing. It's going to be a lot of money made. I mean, at the end of the day, if we're not looking at it that way, we're just going to have another match and we're going to just flip the title. We're going to lose. So that's my opinion on that.
All right, I like it. Well, a couple more before we get to our main topics. Ken terminated by DQ. I remember Booker's first SmackDown promo 2004 saying, "My life has turned upside down." Great heel promo. Thank you for reading my super chat, Brad. So there you go. My life has been turned upside down because you got drafted to SmackDown. How dare you talk about?
You know what? It did get turned upside down, man. But for me, I've always been able to make something out of nothing, and that's what we're talking about, the King of the Ring tournament coming up. But for me, King of the Ring tournament, it was a moment for me to be able to actually be in that position to wear the crown. But then again, when you get that position right there, it's what you make out of it. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, some of the chatter I've been seeing on the internet as far as the greatest King of the Ring. And I want to figure out what is the makeup and what are you looking for as far as King of the Ring winners. Because damn it, I know I was the best king that ever wore the crown. Okay. And I'm not just saying that because it's me. I'm saying that because that actor who played that role so well, his ass should get an Academy Award for some of the stuff that he did. No one did more with the King of the Ring and the crown than I really don't think so. Excuse me, all the way to capturing the World Heavyweight Championship. Even now, King Booker action figure is like the top seller as far as action figures go out there. I mean, you can't find one. They like, almost extinct. They go so quick. You know what I mean? And they've made like 7 or 8 different King Booker action figures. That doesn't happen by accident. Me carrying that role the way I did, that didn't happen by accident. Me creating that role the way it came across, it didn't happen by accident. And I want to know, I want you guys to tell me, who was your favorite king? No, who was the best king, but why? More importantly than just who, not just because he's your favorite wrestler. I know a lot of people are biased and they say, well, this was my favorite because I actually saw, well, if CM Punk would have won the King of the Ring tournament, he would have been the best king. So when I see stuff like that, I understand you got your bias, but step outside of that bubble for one moment and be honest with yourself. Ask yourself the question, who do I think did more with the King of the Ring, Monica, than Booker T? Who did more?
Gotta ask that question. And you know what, Book? We'll see responses from everybody, but we gotta take a quick break.
Stick around, dog. You're in the Hall of Fame. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. It's Booker T along with my man Brad Gilmore, talking about the King of the Ring and who was the best King of the Ring of them all. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Shine Bright already wants to super chat in his thoughts. Shine Bright, or their thoughts. Shine Bright says, if I'm being honest, we all know with a unanimous decision that Booker T is the best King of the Ring. I wouldn't mind seeing you go for one more reign as King of the Ring. Who knows? You might be in the tournament on Friday. Well, okay. This is what I thought, because I've seen a lot of the same lists that you have. And even before I ever met you and started working with reality wrestling, if you asked who's the best King of the Ring of all time, I would say Booker T. I'd say King Booker was the best, hands down. But I think that we have to judge it on, and let me ask you this. What are we judging it on? Are we judging it on who won the tournament, like who had like the best wins in the tournament, who had the best matches in the tournament, who did more with the King moniker and gimmick, or are we looking at whose career was launched the best by King of the Ring? What is your metric for determining best King of the Ring?
I've read that Steve Austin's career was made by him becoming the King of the Ring. I don't believe that. I really don't. If Steve Austin would have never won the King of the Ring tournament, he would have still been Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I think he would have gotten there. I think he would have gotten there anyway.
So that is a question, that is beyond me right there. I think it's got to be with who did the most with the gimmick, with the character, with the moniker. Who had the most memorable moments? How many times can you look back and remember, man, what you were doing when that person was doing what he was doing? So my thing is, I understand if you like a certain character, if you like a certain wrestler, okay, and you grew up watching that wrestler. But it's like, come on, if you see two acts and you know which one is the best, and you choose this one just because you like that person, you disqualify yourself immediately. I think from a perspective, I think the judges should be people that's been in the business as far as this question goes, because I know hands down, if I was to ask Steve Austin, and I have, do you think you were a better king than I? he's gonna say no. Then again, he may be vain, but I know on paper, you look at the King of the Ring and King of the Rings in past, and what I did when I got the crown and the robe and the scepter, along with my lovely Queen Charmel. We took that road to places that it had never been before. And the thing is, places that will never be achieved again. Seriously, I really believe that.
I think that if that's the metric we're measuring it on, which is the one that I would personally, it's like when I think of King of the Ring, I think of, okay, what did they do with it afterward? And I don't remember too many guys who actually really took the King idea and really ran with it. It would be like Edge would win King of the Ring and he'd carry around a trophy for a few weeks, and that was the extent of it. Billy Gunn was the King of the Ring. I bet you didn't even remember that, right?
I do not.
There's been a few. Owen Hart was the King of Hearts, which I think
And
was
then the thing
good.
is, I know a lot of people got a lot of love for Owen, and Owen actually tried to
Owens
do
was good.
no, Owen actually tried to do something with the King of the Ring moniker and the gimmick, the character. He actually bought into it. So yeah, I put Owen Hart very, very high on the list.
But Callie Toenail weighing in on this as well, who says the best King was King Booker. The facial expressions, the gear, the lingo, that damn pinky finger, and the Queen Charmel. It was the total pack. It was a total package. The Savage. Yeah. Now King, Macho King. Now did Randy Savage win the King of the Ring and become Macho King?
King Savage.
Yeah, the Macho King Randy Savage was good.
Yeah,
Him
yeah.
and
No,
and
I'm gonna tell
Sherry.
you.
I would say that it would be
took a whole
you,
lot.
Macho, and then Owen.
You know what? That lineup right there would be perfect. Just because I took a lot from Macho Man, because he really bought into the character as well. Owen, he actually Harley Race, he was another one
King Harley Race.
who really bought into the character. But for me, I really feel like I took the character to a place to where WWE, they went all in with me, as far as the character go, and the props that they brought out for me, to really add to the character. I flew to England, to Buckingham Palace, hanging out with the Beefeaters. I had people following me around, like I was a real king, and they were just spectators, not plants or anything. It was amazing. My run as king. I didn't pay for a meal for over a year, or a drink if I went to a bar, because people just love King Booker. That's how powerful that character was, and I tested against any other king that have won the crown, as far as who's the best, who wore it better, and I just don't, like I say, I could be biased, thinking just because it's me, but I do know. I said after King Booker, it's going to be hard to play this role.
Well, and to be honest with you, after your tournament victory, King of the Ring, they didn't do it for, I don't know, a few years, right? And then they've only done it every so often, sporadically afterward. Now, I have the list of all the winners from 1985 to 2019. And I just want to run them down real quick. I'm going to run them down real quick, and we'll see if any other names pop out to us, because we might have forgotten one or two. We have Don Morocco, King Harley Race, Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase, Tito Santana, Bret Hart wins it twice, Owen Hart, Mabel. King Mabel was okay.
King Mabel was good, man. I loved it.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course, Triple H, Ken Shamrock, Billy Gunn, Kurt Angle, Edge, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And then you won right after Brock, William Regal, Sheamus, Bad News, and Baron. Now, although Brock didn't run with the character, if you want to talk about King of the Ring actually launching somebody, it launched Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar comes in, he wins King of the Ring, then he faces Rock at SummerSlam and wins the title.
Man? I don't look at it that way, man. I really don't. Brock Lesnar would have been Brock Lesnar without the King of the Ring tournament.
No, I know, but it was a nice launching pad because it got him into the main event of SummerSlam.
Yeah, it was. But when people say this made someone's career, I mean, like no one knew who Stone Cold Steve Austin was before he got in the King of the Ring tournament. That's true. It's ludicrous. That makes no sense to me.
Sure.
You're right.
So,
I like I said, I could be wrong, but I just wanted to hear from the people as far as what they thought and who they thought was the best king. But like I said, not just who, but why. As far as why did they, why were they your favorite? What did they do as king, to make you feel like they were the best of them all?
Now, a lot of people are saying Jerry the King Lawler. Jerry King Lawler didn't win the King of the Ring.
I don't put Jerry Lawler in the on the list, because Jerry Lawler is he was anointed king well before the King of the Ring tournament was established. That was who he was, well before he ever came to the WWE. We're talking about guys who won the King of the Ring tournament. And those guys only, I think. I always say, you know, when I'm sitting at the table with Jerry Lawler, you know, I always say, you know, he was anointed back in the day, and then he anointed me. I always give him props, you know, over all of us. You know what I mean? More than anything.
By the way, if you were interested in buying a King Booker action figure, let's look at it right now.
$100.
$97.99 on Amazon Prime. And look at it. You have the crown, the robe.
Yeah.
Look at that, the scepter.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet action figure.
It's like the sweetest of them all, you know, out of literally all the action figures they put out. This one right here is monster, and I'm not just saying that. And it's the highest bid out of all of them, I think. I'm serious.
And look, there's only one less stock right now. So there you go.
So you better get it. You better get it. You better get it.
You better
quick.
jump on it. Well, I wonder who they're going to look at putting in that position. Like, I don't know who's going to be in the King of the Ring tournament. They haven't announced it just yet. But I just wonder who could fill those shoes, who could fill the robe and the crown.
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing play out. Just because I know everything that came out of me winning the tournament, as far as the character goes, it was organic. It was something that came out of my head, and I was like, man, I could really, really take this thing and do something with it. There again, I was thinking about Camelot. I was thinking about Hollywood, making a phone call to me. I was really off into that mode when I was doing that character, and I tell you, I only did it for, you know, over a year, a little over a year, but it took so much energy out of me. I shut it down. I walked away from the company as King Booker. You know, I don't think too many guys have walked away from the company at the top of their careers, but for me, I put a whole lot into that character, Charmel and I, and it was special. It was some of the best work that I did in my career. That's why King Booker right now is, you know, like the most memorable thing that I did outside of, you know, my whole career. You know, all the titles pretty much doesn't match up to my King of the Ring run that year and a half.
Callie Toenail says Shinsuke set the King back several years, especially with Rick Fools. I mean, booze. I mean, y'all know what I mean. I forgot Nakamura is currently the King.
Yeah, no, that's that. I mean, I'm not hating on Nakamura or anything like that, but guys, let's be honest with ourselves. I'm serious here. Let's just be honest with ourselves for a moment. After King Booker ran with that deal, anybody that won the King of the Ring tournament after that, they were going to have a very, very hard time. And that's just the truth. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke up my behind or anything like that. I'm spitting facts right now. It's because I said my goal was to, when anyone ever mentioned the King of the Ring tournament ever again, the first person they would think about is King Booker, because I did something that was another level as far as this business goes. Making a King character like that, where it could have been a joke, I could have been made a fool of. I could have had an asterisk by my career as King Booker, but I flipped it and turned it around and made people respect King Booker as still, for me to this day, the greatest king of them all.
There you have it. Real quick, Vitamin Vision TV says, can we talk about your TNA rendition of the King? What was behind that African accent?
You see. Yeah, that boy was bad too. You know what I mean? He was straight from Uganda. You know, that king right there. He was the African king, you know, King Booker. He had a little different thing going on. We got to take a break. We'll be back in a minute.
This is Booker T World Gym Arena in Texas City, the home to the Reality of Wrestling Training Center. It's a 20,000 square foot facility with more than 50 full-time students and wrestlers from around the world. Inside the World Gym Arena sits a 9,000 square foot venue set up for weekly shows.
You know what I say? I said, look at these folks.
Where our students showcase their skills in front of a live audience.
What he's done here is awesome. He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
In the back, a full weight room.
6 up.
Complete with state-of-the-art equipment and personal trainers.
There you go. There you go. Two more.
A full staff and office personnel.
One more.
Running the day-to-day operation. We have interview sets for TV production, promo classes, quarterly combines. We evaluate progression and team building. Referees, commentators, ring announcers, and live television production. At the World Gym Arena, we don't just teach you how to become a professional wrestler, but an elite sports entertainer. This is Reality of Wrestling.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man, you know it's all about the five. It's all about the five.
If I may share a little clip of the Ugandan King Booker, if we can.
You know what I say? I say, look at these bums. Look at the dress. You see, in my country, they say, if it looks like a chicken, if it clucks like a chicken, it's a chicken. You see, you want to talk about the mafia, you talk about the mafia to the face. And you see, from this day forward, the war will start right here tonight. And you know what I say? By the end of this year, there won't be any of you left. And you know one more thing. It's all about the five. You understand? You know what I mean? It's all about the five.
You were on something else.
In WWE, I was British. Okay, I was from England. Okay, I want to pay homage to the motherland, man. I want
It's
to pay
all about the
homage
five.
to my people, man. You know.
Stella
Look,
Justin
Bron, look,
Lopez
let me tell you,
2.0,
man,
real quick.
Many
said
times
that.
have I said it. When the camera's rolling, you're always on stage. You're always acting, man. You're always performing. And for me to go there and just be Booker T and wrestle, man, come on. This pro wrestling. This is sports entertainment. And for me to, go out and, try to portray this thing like it's not, it wouldn't be right. Professional wrestling has always been entertainment for me. It's always been able to have that point to where you can go and, if you can't laugh at yourself, bro, you shouldn't be in this business. I'm dead serious, because you're going to find yourself in certain positions doing certain things. Kurt Angle had a little bitty cowboy hat on playing a ukulele, and this is an Olympic gold medalist, bro. So when I see that kind of stuff and I hear people talk about it in certain terms as far as what they think wrestling is, okay, you think that, but I'm thinking about it what I think it is, and that's why I've been pretty successful.
I don't disagree. That was funny. And what does it mean? It's all about the five.
The five, man. The five. The mafia.
The mafia was five of you. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the mafia.
Vitamin Vision TV says classic. And then Stella Justin Lopez 2.0 says, didn't help the last two winners, Barrett and Corbin. They reminded in and still a mid-card position. Oh, they remained still in a mid-card position. Booker was the last one to go win the world title. That's true. Those are facts.
No. But when I became king, I was a main eventer the whole time I was King Booker.
Mhm.
I was in the main event, the whole time. I started the show. Sometime I came out in the middle of the show. I worked the main event, and I was the dark match for over a year straight. Nobody else did that. Nobody else as king did that. Nobody, the show was not built around any other king other than King Booker. The SmackDown world, the SmackDown kingdom. Come on, the SummerSlam games. I created all of that stuff. Me, King Booker. So whatever you got, come on, guys. I just need you to be honest with yourselves. Be real with yourselves as far as who's the greatest king that ever wore the crown.
Talk about it. You know what I mean? Those are facts. Those are facts right there. We'll see who goes out there and does it this time. You know what I mean? I don't know. No one's really sticking out to me as far as who would make sense to be the King of the Ring this year. I'll see what the brackets say. And then also the Queen's Crown tournament going on at the same time. I guess whenever we see them, we'll have to break them down. But is there anybody you'd put that on right now? I mean, I saw someone in the chat say Apollo Crews, who's already doing kind of a royalty gimmick kind of thing, going to I think was he Nigerian royalty? Is that the character right now? So
yeah.
Would you like that? Or I see a King Kofi in here. King
Look, man,
Riddle,
I'm gonna tell you right now,
saying.
man. I know we want to talk about Fury and Deontay Wilder before we get out of here.
Yes.
But I look at the list. I look at the list of the guys that's going into this tournament, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I feel sorry for them. Okay, I feel real sorry for all of those guys, every one of them, and God bless them, and whatever it does for their careers after, we'll see.
God bless them.
Yet to be continued. Let's just say that. But I feel sorry for the crop of guys going into this tournament. I really do.
All right. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 3 goes down this Saturday. You and I will not be in attendance, unfortunately. We saw the last fight in person. We talked a little bit on Monday. Last night on FS1, they played Fury Wilder 1.
I watched them both. They played 1 and 2.
Okay, I only watched 1.
Yeah.
And after watching 1 and being there for 2, I just think that Fury has Wilder's card.
Well, I look at it. 1 and 2 was 2 totally different fights, and the thing is, Tyson Fury won both of them.
Yeah.
Of course, Deontay Wilder landed the big shot late, which I don't know how that balanced the scorecard. But what I saw in the first fight was a lighter Tyson Fury, but he was so much quicker. His feints were like 2 and 3 at a time before he was firing for jab, which was just totally just throwing Deontay Wilder, a fit, and he did it, from the beginning to the end. The second fight, he was much heavier, came in at 270 and just said, man, I'm just going to bolo this dude. I'm going to just hold him. He put him in that chokehold, I don't know how many times, to where the ref finally took a point in like the 6th round or something like that when it was close to the end. But he was so heavy on Deontay Wilder in that second fight, he was landing big shots. But the one thing I did see after looking at the replays was Tyson Fury got tired in that second fight, even though he was putting a beating on Deontay Wilder in that 7th round. You could tell he was tired. Of course, he wasn't as tired as Deontay Wilder because he wasn't taking as many shots, but you could tell he was, weary. And I'm sure Deontay Wilder's people check that out and say, man, we can exploit this. If we can get this guy late, if we can get this guy in 10, 8, 9, 10, those are going to be our rounds if we're going to get Tyson Fury. If he comes in at 270, that could be his downfall.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know Deontay Wilder's gone through some different training coaches, different camps, different partners. Maybe they see something being the ultimate minds of boxing that we haven't seen thus far from Deontay Wilder. I mean, Deontay Wilder's biggest thing, his biggest critique, his biggest criticism from Tony Atlas to Mike Tyson on down, they've always said, well, he's not really a boxer. He's
Teddy
a puncher.
Atlas.
What'd I say?
Tony.
Oh, sorry.
Just correcting you. Just correcting
Sorry,
you. Just
yeah.
got to make sure you're straight.
No, appreciate it. Or Tony Atlas too. Throw him in there. He was talking about Deontay Wilder's feet for some weird reason. Teddy Atlas on down, they all said, he's not really a boxer. He's a strong puncher. He's got incredible, ungodly power. He's not a great boxer. We will see. We will see if Deontay Wilder over these last 2 years almost has been able, or a year and a half plus, has been able to really work on his technique and his ability to bob and weave, his footwork, getting in there with Tyson Fury. Can he out technique him? I don't think so. Can he be better than he was the last time? Anything would be an improvement on that last time. My only advice to Alabama's finest, the Bronze Bomber, do not wear any kind of ring guard to the ring. Do not wear your rubber suit. Don't wear a Batman costume. Don't come out as Iron Man. You can have the Mike Tyson towel over the head, and that's not it. Because this is a real do or die moment for you in the heavyweight division. I want to see Deontay Wilder go out there and win. I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder. I just think that Tyson Fury is the better overall fighter, and I think he's going to sweep this trilogy, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say Fury's gonna go out there and sweep this thing or anything like that. Like I said, Deontay Wilder can come in at 235, 240, 245. That will serve him very well. There again, I think if he can get Tyson Fury in the later rounds, he can do very, very well with him. Let's not forget Tyson Fury has had trouble in fights since the Deontay Wilder fight. He's been cut. He's been, some say, not coming in the best shape. So this thing right here could be it could be a big night, and it could go either way. And I say that because Deontay Wilder, he's lost how many fights?
One.
So exactly my point. So a guy that's just lost one fight, he's not broken yet.
No.
That cloak of invincibility may be shattered, but as far as being broken and saying, man, I can't climb my way back. And the reason I say that is because Deontay Wilder did not get knocked out. Deontay Wilder would have got knocked out cold. We'd be talking about something different. But Deontay Wilder was in a position where he was dazed and confused, in a place that he had never been before, with a fighter that was elite, and that right there may make you think a little bit different, may make you go work a little bit harder, and I definitely think he can come in a better fighter because Deontay Wilder picked this thing up late. He's not one of these guys that been doing this all his life. He's still a work in progress. So I feel like this fight could go either way, and I'm pulling for Deontay Wilder.
All right. Well, hey, I know we're wrapping up here soon. Real quick though, Cali Toenail, when is Road coming to Los Angeles, California?
Man, we got a meeting on the 13th about coming out that way. So get ready for reality wrestling. We got some TV out that way right now as well, in Vegas as well as in LA. So guys, get ready for the road. We're on the road.
Boom. There you go. Let them have
Oh,
it.
hey guys, we got to get out of here. We'll see y'all next week. Same place, same time. Right here inside the Hall of Fame with me, man, Brad Gilmore, and the six-time world champ, King Buckeye. Hey guys, we appreciate y'all. Right now, we out of here.
Can you dig it, you sucker?